Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. This is the Monday painting video. Everyone that's new, the Monday painting video is you guys vote on models from last week's Wednesday, and then whichever wins the most votes gets painted on the Monday painting video. Or if in the case of more than one model winning the vote, we'll do a dice roll. That's the gist of it. So for all my regulars here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. See you in a second. A big clang noise, that was me knocking off something. Now, those of you that are regulars here will know the last couple of weeks I've been flat out trying to clear an old mobile and trying to sort out this outside and outside ready for a seating area. That's all done now. I've seen the back of that, so that's absolutely fantastic. However, today's Sunday and next week is Christmas week, so it's absolutely manic at work. So the voting for this week was for the Canoness, the first sister, the librarian, and one of the big guys. Now, unfortunately, I don't have time today to get one of the big guys done, which is a pity. I'm literally really pressed for time today. So the only choice really is for one of these two. And again, because I'm pressed for time, this one is the one that has the gravel done, and it just needs undercoat. So I do apologise to everyone that did vote. There's no dice roll this week, just because I am pressed for time. So this week I'm going to paint this lady, the first sister. It's actually a fantastic model. Yeah. But I'm going to gravel this guy as well, because I need to undercoat her first. So I'm going to gravel this guy as well, and I'm going to try and get him done this week. It's not a promise, but I'm going to try and get him done. But he's actually already undercoated white, so it's not too much of an issue. Just his backpack needs to be sprayed down. Yeah, I'm going to try and get him done Christmas week. This doesn't happen all the time, guys. Don't think, oh, I'm not going to vote anymore. I do apologise. Just been so busy with everything. I'm going to paint this lady. I'm going to try and get this guy done this week. It's an absolute manic week for me. Absolutely manic. So I'm going to get that done, and I'm going to come back to you when I'm ready to start the paint job on her. Right, so you see she's undercoated. I've done the grab on her base. Just a simple dry brush of some Still Little Drab. I'll take you through the wet palette first of all. I have Rhinox Hide, because there's a bit of leather on her, Retributor Armour, White Scars, some Lead Belcher, some Wraith Bone. What is it? Wraith Bone what? Just Wraith Bone. Just simple Wraith Bone. And some Screaming Skull. So I've got a few plans, a few ideas. The first thing I'm going to do, well, first thing I'm going to say is, I'm not all clued up with, the colour schemes for the Order of the Rose or this or that. I'm just going to paint her the way that I want to paint her, and I'll look at it at a later date. So we'll take some Wraith Bone. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and do all of the cloak. And she does have these lovely little things on the bottom of her cloak there. So I'm going to try and just do it up to them as much as I can without getting it out on them. Look in the camera. So I'm going to go off camera and finish the rest of her cloak off. So here's where we're at. Now I've given it a few coats of the Hex Wraith, a few thin coats. I'm still not sure about the bottom of this cloak, because there is those little lapel things. So there's one on her back there, there's little ones across the bottom of the cloak. I don't know if I should just do the bottom of the cloak, because it looks like there's like a little trim along the bottom. And then I'll do the bottom of the cloak and just leave the little lapel things, or whatever they're called, those little things on the backpack. The big one, there's loads of little ones there's 3 on the back, the cloak there. I'm going to do the black trim there. Just get rid of that, do that with the Hex Wraith, and then then we're going to go on to the next colour, which I think I really should put some Screaming Skull on her face. Just get her face. It's the only bit of flesh that she has there. A bionic leg, which looks amazing. Anyway, you're going to do that, and I'm going to put some Screaming Skull on her face, and we'll come back for the next stage then. Right, so I have Screaming Skull on her face. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get come across with a lead belcher. I'm going to paint her bionic leg. Yeah. Just some lead belcher on the brush actually. Just mark out what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint her bionic leg with lead belcher. Okay. The blade of her sword is going to be done with lead belcher. See, I'm a bit of a loss at the moment because she's got gloves on her hands. Okay, they're definitely gloved. So I can see the cuff of the glove. I don't want to paint them. I didn't want to paint them with Rhinox hide and make them leather because she's wearing like black, like latex type, you know, shiny black armor, and I wanted to keep it like that. But I might just do the gloves with the Rhinox hide just to break it up a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the silver, get all that done, and I'm going to come back to you when I've done that. So I'm going to go with some Rhinox hide across the gloves, just to really make them stand out from the metal. A little bit fiddly because she has her hands tucked in really well. That's what we're looking so far. So now I'm going to go with some Retribute armor, and I'm going to lock in all the gold. The gold, what I'm talking about by the gold is all of this on here, yeah, the little bell things at the bottom here, just a little nice little thing there, which is going to get a nice little brush of gold. The little thing inside here is going to get a brush of gold. I'm actually going to do the top of this gold and her little head crest piece thing. Also going to do these little bits and this mad thing on the back of her. Well, I don't even know what these are called no more. Okay, and I'm going to come back to you when I've got those little bits done. You don't need to see me paint on every single step. I'll just come back to you in a second. Well, here's where we're at. I'm not happy with the way some of the gold's turned out, but like on the shoulder piece here, top of a headdress thing, but it's not, I missed the little things on the back. It's not the end of the world because once that's dry I can give it a second coat. Now I didn't realise she had a gun holster in there, so I got a little bit of Rhinox hide. I put a tiny bit of Rhinox hide just underneath that little symbol there, just because it's a little bit leathery, and I've done some silver on the end of her staff, her rod. You know, not too. I mean, the gold bits hanging down look fantastic, but I'm just not too sure about the headdress stuff. But I'll give it a second coat. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some glue and flesh. Not too much, but just enough, and I'm going to paint the face. The reason I'm doing this now is because I don't want to have the robes done and then all of a sudden I'm putting human flesh on their face and they're getting it everywhere. And there's a little bit on the chin now I want to get. The bit there looks a bit bright. It's just a light reflecting off the paint. I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'm going to cut. Actually, I'm going to take out those little gold things on lapels. Is that what they're called? I don't know. I can't. If someone knows what they're called, just chuck a comment below. Let me know, because it's bugging me now. So I'm going to get a bit of gold, do those little bits on the back, leave it to dry for a minute, and we'll come back with the next stage. Right. So basically, what I did is, I just, the gold that's sort of pulling around the neck there, I pulled it out a little bit just to run the excess along the bits, just to give it not a second coat, but just to spread it out a little bit and just leave it to dry now. Now I've got some White Scars White, and I'm going to go over all of this robes on her. It's going to really, well, it's not really wet, but I'll wet it down, I'll water it down a little bit. Just give me a bit of, obviously I'm not going to show you the whole lot on camera, just do a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Now this is a layer paint, so it will go on bright and dull itself down, but that's the beauty of it. So we can bring those layers right up. I'm going to get on with the rest of it and come back to you then. So I'm giving it a second coat of White Scars. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit shiny still. It's just still a little bit wet. But look at that. That looks really, the hex rope underneath does it justice, but this is still a little bit wet. So you see it that well. But now I've got some of this Polar Glacier contrast paint. Those of you regular here will know what I'm doing here. I'm going to give it a wash of this along the blade. This is an amazing blade because there's a little divot bit inside the blade. Yeah. So if I just aim for those bits there, it will just run into the recess there. A bit too much. Now look what we have. Amazing looking blade. Just 2 simple steps. Just have to be careful it doesn't pull all the way down to the bottom. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to leave it to dry for 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes. Just keep an eye on that contrast paint so it doesn't pull to the bottom. I'm not too sure about her mid-chest here. I don't know if I should leave that as it is or just maybe give it a dry brush or something. I'm not 100% sure there, guys. I think the best thing for me to do with that at the moment is to leave it, because I'm not sure. And if I have an idea later date, I can come back and just touch it. Same with the backpack. I like the backpack the way it is because it really stands out from the cloak. But I don't know. I mean, the cloak might need another bit of White Scars White. But the leg needs a little touch up now, and the face needs a touch up. So all intents and purposes, that is battle ready. Yeah, you might want to give it another little, when the white's dry, just give it another little once over with some White Scars. But that looks pretty good. But this, my regulars know, if you're new here, we're going to take it to the next stage now. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of Screaming Skull on the brush. There's a tissue. And I'll take it off the brush. There's only a little bit left, and then I'm going to gently just try and dry brush her face, but coming from the nose, maybe for all the nose area. Human skin is a bane of my painting. I always struggle with it. It's alright if they've got dirty skin because it's easy to paint, but just, you know, nice, angelic, clean skin. Or it's not angelic clean, but it's a nice, you know, face like a sister would have. With the screaming skull as well. I'm just going to gently, it's too much on the brush. Just going to gently do some across the leather to make the leather really pop off. I don't know why it's not focusing in on her for some reason. I do apologise, guys. Normally I have the problem of I wander off camera with the model because it's too involved and excited what I'm doing. For some reason it doesn't want to focus on her. Maybe I left the wet palette for too long because it seems to have gone very wet. Everything's gone very, very wet, as I say. Did have heavy rain. And I wasn't in the workshop, so maybe something leaked onto it and just, yeah, it did. Saying that, it did. Oh my goodness me. That's what the problem is. Those water's fell into there. So the problem is that's why it's gone all weird. I just thought maybe it's because I left it for I left it for too many hours. And that's what the problem is. It rained heavy and got into it. Right, so that's that done. What I'm going to do now, when I say it rained heavy outside, and at some point it must have dripped through the ceiling a little bit and it's hit the palette. It's a nightmare, but it's this time of year. Right, let's get a good shake. I'm going to go with Stormhost Silver. This is a mad looking colour. Very mad looking colour. Very, very runny. Take some off the top of the lid, put it onto my tissue, and I'm essentially going to dry brush the raised areas of my bionic leg first. Now it is a layer paint, so it will go on bright and dull itself down. Now what I'm going to do, take a bit and I'm going to edge highlight this sword edge. Don't know if it's going to come out well, but we're going to go for it. Translate onto camera too well. It's not coming out really bright, but that's the point. It's a layer paint. Well, it goes on bright and dulls itself down, but I think the blade is quite dark anyway. Now I could, with that bionic leg, knocking the camera, with that bionic leg I could chuck some nun oil on it. Same with the gold, I could chuck a wash onto it. I don't like doing that, because I think the Retributor armour with a black undercoat really comes up nice anyway. And if it is too dark, You can mix a little bit of Retribution with a bit of white scars and just lighten up a little bit here and there. Or you can just, if it's too bright, you can give it a wash down and go for that. And I'll tell you what I'm actually going to do. I am going to mix some white scars with some Retribution on the wet palette. Just to show you. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up here. If your focus is in. Why are you not focusing on this? I'm going to dry brush the top of this crest wing with the white scars and the Retribution armor mixed together. See, it's brighter. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do it along the edge of her head crest. Right near dropping the model. I'll be so careful with that white, I don't want to knock that white. You can see how much brighter it is, can't you? Yeah, see the top of the head crest there I've just done? So this side, look. So look at this side here. Now I'm going to run it across the top there. See the difference? Absolutely brilliant. So let's give this a little once over of it because I want this to be really prominent. A badge of office. And we could actually give these guys a little once over this little mix as well. So what we're essentially doing here is we have a gold and we're just, by adding white scars to the gold on the wet palette, we're actually having a different shade of gold. Okay, now I would say she's done. I actually like her, but the only thing I'm not sure of is the white ropes. Okay, now you guys give me a shout, comment below, let me know what you think. I'm not 100% sold on the white robes, but I do like them. I think maybe once this is dry, because I can still see little shiny bits under here. Don't focus out. I see shiny bits under the cloak there. So once this is fully dry out, I could go over it again with some white scars because I'm not too happy with the shoulder bits on the cloth. But like I said, white scars are layer paint. Yeah, there's these shiny bits just in there. I can give it a one or two more coats of white scars. You know, if I'm not happy with the way it dries. I've enjoyed painting this model. It's just a pity that I had to take this model because it was one that was most ready because I was behind on time with everything. But the thing that was delaying me, that mobile home, the old mobile home that was just falling to bits, has been totally dismantled, totally gone. So there should be nothing to delay anything in the future. So I'm happy to see the back of it. I'm happy to be able to focus more on content and have to worry about being under time restraint with getting rid of that because of the skip and because of the trailer for the metals and clearing the debris for the digger to come in and all of that silliness. But anyway, Thank you guys for voting. Just unfortunately, you know, I had to take this one because it's one that was most ready. But please still vote, because there's a lot of things planned for the next couple of weeks. And I've got a lot of things planned for the new year, which I'll be talking about on the weekly Wednesday before New Year's. So thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe, and it helps the channel in a massive way. Turn your notifications on if you haven't already done so, because you don't miss anything then. Thank you for watching. Thank you for voting. I'll bring you down to show you some pretty pictures. Until next time, guys, take it easy.